Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Koopalings. Welcome to another edition of the Nintendo Shack, episode 357. Xbox loves Nintendo. We're back. How's your week been down here? Just me and you so far. Becca went to the bathroom. She'll be back later.
I'm sick.
Oh, you and me both. That's great. I feel like shit.
So my wife got tested for COVID Friday, and then I started feeling it coming on yesterday. So rough night.
This is going to be a fun episode because you're sick. My blood pressure was through the roof this morning, so I have a massive headache from it.
Oh, that's bad.
And like feeling nauseous. So it's starting.
Update your meds, man.
Yeah, it was rough. Still rough, but I'm all right. I'm all right.
Give me one around, Kyle.
Gotta power through it, baby.
Yeah.
Well, how's your week been otherwise and everybody getting sick?
Oh, that feels like a blur. What am I getting?
He's getting messages.
Yeah, just got weird messages.
Oh.
What did I do this week, man? I don't know. The week's been...
I'll start off to help you out a little bit. I played a little bit of video games this week, but it's been like I played a weird ass game.
That's fun.
I finally got into it. I played you remember the game Slitterhead that came out last year?
Yeah.
I finally got into it.
That's cool.
What a fucking weird game that is.
It did not review very well.
And I agree. First off, okay, the first one I played, I only played like the intro of it, right? So I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's weird, but I'll follow along with it. So after you get past the intro, the first cut scene is this elaborate sex scene. Like nudity and all.
Wow.
Like in this, I guess it's a brothel where this guy's having sex with this woman, and then the woman turns to a monster and kills him.
Nice.
So the first, portion of the game is you.
You were like, I'm all in.
I'm like, this is alarming.
Like, this is game of the year.
I'm like, is this they can show this in games now? This is like a whole ass sex scene.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said to that. Just, I don't want to get you off your thing, but
no.
I've long said that games want to be taken serious like movies, but yet they refrain from touching on like really any serious topics like movies or novels or scripts, like they're very,
I agree.
By comparative sake, like they're very buttoned up. Gaming is so funny because gaming, like the people that make games seem to be so liberal and, it's like somewhat radical, but the games that we make, like what they have to say on art are actually somewhat conservative and kind of buttoned up. There's lots of stuff in like the mental health space, but not like a whole lot of like life stuff, as it comes to dealing with like, you see it all the time. I mean, you see it, you talk about it all the time. You see a game that deals with like race and like the shit that it goes through. And like, even it's either like really heavy handed or like very like metaphorical, like symbolic, like we don't really get into like, there's no fucking training day, a video game. Like there's no, like that sort of thing. There's almost like, and I mean, I get it. I'm not, oftentimes it's not their decision, the developers themselves. It's the publishers that are funding these projects. But it is crazy that like something so human as like nudity, very reserved in the video game space, very reserved. You can almost, I mean, I know there's like, not counting like hentai games on Steam.
Yeah, not Steam.
You're talking about actual releases. You can probably count like memorable nude moments on like one hand. You know,
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But this game is
and even
interesting
when
because
they do have it, sorry,
what?
even when they do have it, you know, it's like God of War. You know, it's
It's
almost
really
like,
reserved.
well, no, like God of War is just like really like dumb. You know, like
Yeah.
I remember it was Wolfenstein 2. I was like, this is actually like a legit good use of the medium. You know, it's like really explaining like a human interaction, a relationship. We don't have a lot of those. You
The
know,
Witcher is good at that.
it's like gratuitous, you know,
Yeah.
for like, you know, just for the
Yeah.
sake or shock culture.
Yeah.
What I would think of like God of War.
This is more shock culture type thing.
Gotcha.
Feels more like sleazy
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
It sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, sleazy early 80s, 90s horror film type thing. So after this scene happens, because the whole plot of this game is you're this entity. I don't know what you're supposed to be because they haven't really got today like a ghost or alien, and you can possess people. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to fight these creatures called Slitherheads that are also these deities that take over people and become like corrupt monsters that look like a bunch of worms coming out of a person's head and stuff like that. And they're hunting down people and murdering them. So you can possess the whole cast of this game is you're possessing different people. You can possess like certain people in the game and help them fight these creatures and things like that. And you have main people that you can possess, like have extra special abilities and stuff like that, like your quote unquote main characters. But you can also possess like regular people, and they can help do these fights. So as the story progresses, like you start off possessing this girl, and the girl can talk back to you. You talking to the girl, and you're going. The whole first part of the game is you're going through essentially like this brothel to find this prostitute that's a Slitherhead. And you have to possess other people to get inside the brothel to ask questions. Like there's a funny scene where there's this prostitute that won't talk to the girl. She's like, I'm not talking to you unless you're not going to do business with me. Because I may know about this prostitute you're looking for, but I'm not telling you anything. So you have to go possess a guy. And then when you possess a guy, she just literally just has sex with him. And then you come back like,
it's a brothel.
Yeah, he's like, she didn't tell me any information at all. She just wanted sex in my mind.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. It wasn't
I thought it was like a weird way of like solving the puzzle. I was like, okay, that makes sense. You're like, no, that didn't happen.
No, not at all. He like, she didn't tell me any information at all. She just wanted sex and money for some reason.
That's weird. Wow.
It's like a weird, it almost feels like, I don't remember who made this game. I gotta look up who made it, but that doesn't matter. It almost feels like a shooter game without the charm.
Yeah, no, I think there's a reason for that. It's Boca Game Studio. Because the person that did it, wasn't he like, he was in like Silent Hill, right? Like the lead.
I think so, something like that.
That was the thing when the game was marketed. It was like from one of the designers of Silent Hill or something like that.
Yes. He was somebody famous. No, we gotta look it up, but yeah. It's not good. It's the plot is interesting. It's not a really good game. I didn't not enjoy my time with it so much. I'm like, I'm gonna probably stop playing it.
I got Grouchy DMing me like right now, like we're on the show.
He knows we're on the show.
I don't know if he knows that, but he's just like, can you hear the Discord message? Can you hear it like popping up? Oh, okay.
No, I can't hear it.
It's like, because it's just going off in my ears. It's like bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, I'm looking for who the person is.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. His name is Kelchiro Toyama.
Sure.
He's known for Siren, Silent Hill, and Gravity Rush.
Sirens. Wow.
This plays like none of those games.
Yeah, it did not review very well. So I was interested in it until like the review scores were pretty bad, if I remember correctly.
Rightfully so. It's not a good
And
game.
also like some of the game demos and whatnot, like the previews and the hands-ons were not good either. Yeah, it has a 61 on Metacritic.
Yeah, once you get to the whole the point of the game, it's like it's pretty generic.
I may play it one day if it hits Game Pass or something. There wasn't a whole lot of folks that were saying many nice things about it.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. Like I said, the first I've been playing for like a little.
VGC gave it a 3.
Yeah, I've been playing for like a little bit over an hour, and the first half of it is like going through brothels and stuff like that, and the gameplay's just not there. Yeah, this is not for me. Yeah, don't bring this to Switch.
Sound fun, Delvin.
Yeah, this is one of those games you don't bring to Switch. No, the Switch doesn't need it. Keep it where it's at.
Solid. I'm playing Donkey Kong. Have been playing Donkey Kong for the last couple of weeks. I'm almost done with it. I'm just kind of playing it. I'm not playing it like every day. Just kind of playing it in between games. And a lot I've said about the game. Like I said, if you're on the internet and you're following like the Nintendo YouTubes and stuff, like there's a lot of people kind of dunking on the game. I don't have many of those thoughts. I talked about it a bit with Sean, but for those that don't listen to Sweet Hangs, the game is really a remake. By video game standards, by video gamer standards, nobody would realize that. Nobody would call it that. It looks like a remaster because it looks exactly the same. But essentially what Nintendo did is Nintendo farmed it out to a third party, and they've remade the game in Unity. So it's a remake. Like they've completely remade the original game in Unity.
Well, that's cool.
It's a big engine swap. So some things are different, right? There's like little animations might be different, little textures are different, things like that. And people are combing through it and they're pointing out all the differences and they're saying why things are not as good. I am playing it, and having played the game on 3DS and Wii, I'm not noticing any of those differences until somebody points them out to me. I also am just really enjoying that it is in full resolution. I think it plays great. I think it feels like Donkey Kong. It has that Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's platforming has a lot more weight to it than Mario. It feels exactly like Donkey Kong Country is supposed to. And I'm rather enjoying it. I have one minor gripe. It's kind of weird, but it's definitely something I noticed almost immediately. To me, it feels like the volume is like kind of dampened.
Oh,
like I'm constantly trying to turn up the volume. Like when I'm playing in portable, I'm like, why is I want to hear the music, more louder, like more volume, but I'm at max. But it feels like they need to add like another 20% on the other end there. It's just like a little soft.
Like they probably put like a limiter on it.
Yeah, like it's oddly like it's kind of, it's just the volume isn't there. So like you play on TV, right? You wouldn't notice it, but in handheld, and like I was like maybe it's the light, but I've never had a problem with the volume in any, like I've never felt this before. So it feels like a Donkey Kong thing. And maybe they'll patch it and they'll just let you turn the volume up. Like it's not bad. Like it's not hard to hear. It's just not as loud as I would prefer to hear it. So Riley, I'm playing on modern mode. Because Donkey Kong's tough. Like I'm not trying to do all that. I'm not trying to Dark Souls Donkey Kong. The classic mode isn't like hard, but like modern mode is definitely give you more forgiving, and that's just kind of where I am at the moment. I'm not trying to grip anything hard. Like I'm sick. I'm hanging out. Like I'm not trying to do all that. So I'm playing on modern mode.
To play something and just enjoy it. I think that's the whole thing. Like,
the levels are there, and some of my, I wouldn't say, I don't even know about best levels because I think I haven't put any research into that. But I will say some of the most memorable levels from a Donkey Kong Country game is in this game to me, and that's just because of the art style. There's a lot more about this game that I like than Tropical Freeze, just because I'm not into like the whole freeze shtick. Like everything's frozen. Like, okay. I like this one a lot more. So, and I also just think I may be more nostalgic for this game. Like I said, this was the one that was, I don't want to say save Donkey Kong, but it was like a grand return for Donkey Kong. Like Donkey Kong had been kind of MIA for a long time because all we had was like fucking conga games forever. Like they turned Donkey Kong to fucking drum game. And it's like, nobody wants that.
Not at all.
I know people like that, but like that wasn't something you could do, forever. And then this was the one that came back. So I think it might just be that. Like I said, it might just be nostalgia. There's still people upset that it's, whatever the cost. Even people like see Kyle, $50 would have been better. There's people very upset that this thing costs what it costs.
It's a $10 difference. Stop being goddamn cheap.
I mean, look, the best vote you have is to vote with your wallet. So I'm not going to demean it.
I am.
But just don't buy it. Like it literally is that simple. And we say that all the time when we disagree with somebody else's opinion, but and I probably don't like hearing it when people don't like when we have that same opinion. I think there's something here to it that like Nintendo has done a really good job of setting the precedent of what first party games cost. It really doesn't matter if it's a remake or a remaster or a port of an old game. Like if it has a mainline Nintendo character in the game, it's going to be $60.
I think we've honestly got to the point now where a $60 game might be a luxury.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
and it is, to give everybody else credit, it's weird, right? Because you get like Metroid Prime for like $40, or you get like another game for like $50.
Yeah.
And so there is somewhat of a sliding scale there. And I could try to give people reasons why those games are the way they are. I would just generally push back and just say that if you're playing a game with Mario or Donkey Kong or Zelda in it, it's probably going to be $60. like that's generally the rule. So
yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it is now. As I'm looking at the landscape now, PlayStation's like, no, this is $70. This is $70. Like, who the fuck is this character? Why did it deserve $70? Because it's on PlayStation. They're like, you know what? it's just like whatever now. At this point, I've already given up knowing the fact that most games now are going to be $70. So when we get something that's $50 or $60, I'm like, you know what? Good.
I like Cloud9 here. He responded to you, Delvin. He said $10 is $10, and he's not wrong.
Look here, Cloud9. Go out there, go on your paper route, throw a couple more papers.
XBS, you're 100% Prime Remastered is a rare great deal, and I still contend that I think that was an effort to see if they could spark sales. I think Nintendo's trying to gauge how much people are really interested in Metroid. They're like, listen, what if we put it at a budget? Will it sell 5 million copies then? And the answer was still no.
Yes, that is a difference.
I wonder if Nintendo is, because they had Dread and they kind of launched it with a console, and it seems like they're playing around with that. I think that continues because I think Prime 4 is a Switch 2 launch game. I've been saying that. I think Nintendo's trying to see if there's a bigger market for Metroid. And if I had to guess, and this is really reading just a lot of tea leaves that they've done, maybe they're trying to evaluate how much they invest in Metroid moving forward.
Correct.
So they're probably wondering about green lighting projects. They're looking at this and like, man, just keep selling to the same 3 million people.
Yeah.
Or can it have its breakout moment some way?
Or Metroid just becomes a lower budget title.
It may, yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, we'll make Metroid, but we're not gonna make the big budget Metroid that you guys want.
Possibly. I mean, it just seems like they've been very creative with Metroid on Switch, and I don't think that's for no reason. I think that's deliberate. It's for something, and that would be my guess as to why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying Donkey Kong. Like I said, I really love Donkey Kong, so I want more Donkey Kong games to exist. And I also think there's something to be said. There's a lot of people there right now, like that's kind of out there. People are starting to come around. Like we have a new Donkey Kong character model in the new cart. There's lots of Donkey Kong games that are being ported or brought over. The people are like, what's going on? And it does feel like Nintendo was about to do something with Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So
he had a prominent role in the Mario movie.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it would be weird for them to do all of this and then not have a new game. So I would suspect that there's a new game coming soon. Probably year 1 or 2 with Switch 2. I think we're going to get shown a new Donkey Kong. And I don't think it's going to be Donkey Kong like country game. I think it's going to be a new Donkey Kong game, like something else. So
That would be cool.
I hope so.
I think it's time.
The other thing I'm playing is I'm playing Life is Strange on Switch. Those
How's
games,
it play?
Those games all went on sale a couple weeks ago during that crazy end of the year sale, and I picked them all up because I want to play. Was it Double Exposure? Is that what it's called?
That's exactly what it's called. Yes.
I want to play that one, and I'm thinking about getting on Switch. And I'm playing the first Life is Strange game because isn't that like the one you should replay before Double Exposure since it's max and everything, right?
Yes, that's the direct sequel.
And I haven't really played through the whole thing since the first time, and that was kind of lost on me when I got started because, man, Life is Strange was a special game for me when it came out, and I think I kind of forgotten how long ago that was. Like I was like, oh shit, like I really kind of jolted my memory, and I was like, it has been a minute since I've walked around. I think of Life is Strange, and Before the Storm is my favorite. I really like Life is Strange too. But it just feels like this game is maybe a lot older than I actually remembered it being.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
And so I'm having kind of a nostalgic time. I'm not going to like review Life is Strange, but I do want to just shout out one of maybe my favorite thing about this entire franchise, this series. And I've said this for a long, long time. I absolutely adore the music that they choose for these games.
Yeah, it's great.
They do a really good job of curating the music. But the Switch port is not great.
No, it's not. It is well known that port is not great.
Here's the funny thing. I mean, yeah, if you were evaluating it, right? Like if you wanted to go full Digital Foundry on it and like start freezing it and pointing out every flaw and stuff, there's a lot to point out. But I had to tell you, after I played it for like an hour, I kind of just, it all kind of like, you just get used to it, I guess, like you just kind of acclimate and you're like, yeah, it's a little glitchy. There's like the lighting in it is really fucked. Like, it depends on like, it's almost like where the lighting source is in the scene. So like all the cutscenes when you're talking, the dialogue scenes between like two characters, like they're rendered in engine, right? It's not like a pre-recorded cutscene. So let's say I'm going to try to set up a scenario because I'm trying to make a point. So let's say Max is talking to Chloe, and let's say behind Chloe is like a window, is a light source, right? Like sun is shining in. When the game points at Max's face, where the sun is pointing towards Max, the whole scene lights up, like it gets visibly brighter. And then when it points at Chloe, where the shadow is, it gets much darker, as opposed to like the game knowing that like this is the light, like the ambience of the room, like it just kind of jarringly goes back and forth.
Like the light travels through the whole room.
It's very like PS3 kind of stuff. Like this is like some old shit that like, like used to be a very common thing that like isn't very common anymore. So it is jarring. That kind of stuff is jarring. Or like when you're panning the camera, the game is trying to stream in assets, so you'll see like little glitchy like light sources or like window effects or doors and stuff kind of pop up like on the side of the screen. They'll kind of break through. There's like really weird little graphical stuff like that if you were judging it, like if you wanted to go through it and be like, this is why you shouldn't get this version of the game, you could build a compelling case. It's by far and away probably the worst version to play, I imagine. But like I said, I think I'm through chapter 3. I started playing chapter 3 yesterday, and after I kind of noticed it and I saw it, you just kind of accept that it's there, and now it's just, now I'm just playing Life is Strange.
Well, as long as it's playable, I guess that's the main thing.
It's very playable. It's fine. Yeah. There's stuff there, but it's not like it's not unplayable. It's not like hurting the gameplay. Like the frame rate, it feels like it's 30, but it feels locked at 30. The game feels like it's running very smoothly. I'm way more upset about things like that than like little pop-in effects or like little lighting things like that. Those things don't really, they don't hamper my enjoyment of the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just kind of, just because it was there, I didn't pick this out for any reason except I do think I want to play Double Exposure. I don't really have a whole lot to play, like new releases at the moment are coming out soon. Like I don't have a whole lot on my plate. My year doesn't really pick up until March, so this is a really cool time for me to hang out and just kind of replay some stuff.
Yeah, catch up on some things. That's what I was been trying to do.
Yeah. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm playing my 64. Played a lot of Blitz this week. I downloaded the Blitz hack for they have like a 2025 Blitz. I'm not sure if you know that exists.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they put like all the teams and they update all the rosters and everything. So I've been playing that. I've just been kind of messing around with like homebrew stuff with my cart, just going around finding stuff. I found out how to put Game Shark codes on the Evercart, so I can unlock things and do like big head mode and like put in cheat codes and stuff if I want to on certain games.
Oh, that's really cool.
Kind of fun. It is fun, but it is like complicated. You have to like go to a site, get the thing, put down, get on the cart, load it up. You kind of have to know which code is which. It's almost like you have to create like a key. But I had a video recommended to me about that, and I was like, "That's cool. I want to see what that's like." Honestly, I haven't really looked into it, but honestly, I think I'd rather just buy a Game Shark. like it's cool that you can do it, but I'm like, this isn't worth it. Like this is too much work.
How much does the Game Shark cost now anyway?
I don't even know. I never had one for 64. I know they exist, but I never had one. I had one for PlayStation, but I never had one for 64. You want to know a fun little fact about the Game Shark on 64?
Sure.
The Game Shark is a really great way of bypassing the region mod for 64.
Oh, that's awesome.
The region mod is very easy to fix. You can buy a $3 tray and open up your 64 and replace the tray. But if you didn't know how to do that, or you didn't have a screwdriver and you didn't want to, you can get a Game Shark, and the Game Shark doesn't have the little mold, and you can put Japanese PAL version. You can put any cart you want on top of that thing, and it's just a real easy way of bypassing the little mod, which is neat.
I see one for $45.
That's a lot. I was thinking like $4. Like that's a lot. Never mind.
But I'm on Amazon, to be clear.
Never mind. I'll put it on the cartridge.
Let's see how much it costs on eBay.
I'm not paying anything remotely like that for that. That's crazy.
Let's see.
Let's see what Chet has to say. Man, I feel really out of my place. Like I had a
you and me both
up and down. I'm just like, oh, I'm not sure if the chat can tell. Probably. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. What is it? So G-Man says, Donnie, what did I do? Why do I do this? What do you mean?
That's somebody, why are you playing Life is Strange, the worst version of the game?
Because fuck yeah. Because hell yeah.
There you go. That's the perfect answer.
This is what we do. You go live that dev life with Dev. I'm here fucking Deadly Premonition 2. Fuck it. This is what we do, man. Hyrule Nate says, I only have the Game Shark for GameCube for homebrew reasons. Good stuff.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Huh.
I have one memory of like Game Shark and Game Genie. A friend of mine had one on PlayStation 1, I think, maybe 2, but I think 1. Was it, I want to say Gran Turismo 3? Can you date me there? What system was that on?
I think that was PS2.
2 maybe. Okay. And we used it to unlock all the cars and shit, so we didn't have to do all that grinding. And I was like, this is the greatest invention ever made. And the funny part is I have no idea how people remember that game, but like in hindsight, I think my memory of playing that game is a lot more positive and fonder than people. And I think it's because of the Game Shark. Like it's like, this is awesome. I played the shit out of that game.
That was PS2, A-Spec.
Okay. Because I remember like the memory card and stuff. It's fun. Yeah, Cloud9 gets it. So, and I mean, look, I love that game. And I bought them because like I'm buying a lot of ports and stuff that I'm hoping get updates on Switch too. Now, I'm not holding my breath because it's Square Enix and stuff. You never know.
Yeah, they might just count the losses.
they'll just like package them all together and release like a Life is Strange collection we have to buy or something.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if they updated it. That would be great. They
might. Or they might just update it, like you said, and sell it in one big pack.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we fixed it.
One thing I've been doing since I've been sick is I've been hanging out on Whatnot, trying to get N64 games. Have you ever done that?
No, I have not.
Have you ever heard about it?
I've heard of Whatnot, but I've never went on there for like N64, like video games at all. I don't think about.
Really? What did you get?
I usually use like Etsy and stuff like that.
I wasn't sorry. What did you use Whatnot for?
I don't remember. Probably like stuff for my daughter, like art stuff.
It's fun. It's like Twitch. Like you sit there and you watch like a person on a stream, and they literally just like hold up stuff that they're selling and you bid for it like instantly. So I was like sitting in this guy owns a game store, like a retro store, and he's just walking around the store and there's like 10 people in the chat and they're like, what do you got? And I was like, show me your 64 stuff. And he took me to a 64 case and I was like, how much for those? And he was like, $12 each. I was like, what about 8? He's like, sure. It's like, I'm just like buying shit. I showed it to my wife. My wife was like, this is a problem. You need to not do this. I was like, well, it's kind of fun though. So I've been hanging out doing that because I'm not really feeling in the mood to play things.
I agree. Yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Plus, getting sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be one of those episodes, guys.
Oh, look, there she is. Say her name and she appears.
I believe in Melissa.
That's a drop we need. She just messaged me. So since you're here, Melissa, I don't feel good. She's like, how are you feeling? Not great.
We're both
Kyle.
dying for different reasons.
Kyle coming in right there. Look, that's good stuff. Yeah, Cloud, I won a free game. I got Lamborghini whatever for free on 64.
It's a good game. Probably not.
Thanks, hon. You sound terrible.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing out to all of our podcast listeners.
She's dying. I'm dying.
I'm not dying. It's not that bad. It's not like flu-like yet. I'm hoping it doesn't, but it's like I just feel like I have like a really bad like sinus infection, like allergies. Like it's just like mucus overload. Like my throat is raspy. I'm coughing stuff. It's like, oh. I was super achy last night. That was the worst. I kept waking up. My legs were achy. My calves were like spasming. It's like, oh.
Yep, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Before we get to the news stuff, let me go get me a soda real quick. I'll be right back. Talk to the people.
You want me to just do the news? Like, what am I supposed to talk to them about? Talk to the people.
Talk to them. What are we doing,
people?
They're right here. How you doing, people? I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
I have to vamp while Delvin just leaves the show. What do you want to talk about? Somebody asked me a question. Kyle, this is your moment. You've waited for this. Chat goes completely silent on me. They failed me, Delvin. They did nothing.
See, I'm right back.
Not a damn thing. They didn't help out at all. I asked them to ask me a question and I got nothing.
You people suck. What the fuck?
Cloud9 says, time for some chicken noodle soup. It doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
I'm more of a, look at this. Nick.
Wow.
Nick, we're going to have to talk.
How dare you talk about the TNA champion like that?
This is why we need mods for discrimination and hate speech like this.
Yes. Blasphemous.
This is great.
That man is a TNA champion. God damn it.
My wife hates him.
Why? She doesn't believe in Joe Henry?
She hates the TikTok. It keeps coming up.
Oh.
I also think she's really jealous that like in Europe when that thing started, his song like broke Taylor Swift on the chart
Oh,
for
there.
like a week.
That'll
And
do it.
I think she took that personally. I think that really bothered her.
Taylor
Oh.
Swift is on the charts like every week.
One of the comedians that I follow on TikTok, Josh Johnson, he had the best analogy ever. I retweeted the TikTok last night. He said Taylor Swift is to women what wrestling is to men. And like I can't unhear it. I'm like, holy shit. That's 1,000%.
It's pretty accurate.
He goes through all of like the analogies and the similarities. I was like, oh my God, what a bit. What a great bit. He's got it. Nailed it. Ugh.
All right, let's get to this news for one of us dies.
Yeah, let's. Takahisa Tora has left Platinum Games to form his own studio named Eel Game Studios. This is the game director and designer for Astral Chain and Nier Automata. This is the one. So this is a story that we've been talking about for several episodes now. There's a lot of turnover happening at Platinum. And I've brought it up a few times because if you're in the Nintendo space, you're wondering what that might mean for Nintendo and franchises like Bayonetta and Astral Chain. It's somewhat timely that this week Platinum was revealed to be working with Team Ninja on Ninja Gaiden, which is awesome. But like, who's there? Who's working on There's like real good question is what's going on at Platinum, and we need some reporting because a lot of people have left. This was the name that I was hoping would stay. This is it. I was thinking that this person would be like the new person, like the president, like he'd be elevated. And nah, he's just doing his own thing. What then lets me ask questions is like, does Nintendo take Astral Chain there? Is there a path for them to work with somebody that's not Platinum? Like, can they follow Taurus somewhere else?
I would think so.
A lot of questions. But there's something going on at Platinum. Platinum is undergoing some sort of metamorphosis into something else. If not, like, are they going to do support studio work? I mean, I keep wondering, like, are we going to wake up one day and either find that Platinum is closed or been bought? Because they're kind of going through it.
What would you buy Platinum for now?
I mean, IP. They have their own intellectual property. They still have people. I mean, I kind of would make the argument. I would make the argument, and this is somewhat of a devil's advocate, but I actually think it would make more sense to buy Platinum now than it did 2 years ago or 5 years ago. Because this happens a lot when you buy a company and then like the figurehead leaves. And then the person, like what you're left with doesn't seem as valuable. Like we've seen this with Microsoft, and they close the studio. And like now it's like, no, now buy them. Because now you're buying the intellectual property, the people that are still there, and now you can build it back up like you're buying on the low end. To me, that would actually make more sense than the other way around. But I don't know.
Because Nintendo uses Bayonetta. Bayonetta's basically theirs. So like,
yeah. And you wonder, like, do you wait for it to close and just buy the IP? Like I wouldn't be shocked to see, somebody else like absorbing Platinum. But
maybe Nintendo.
I'm trying to jump too far, and I'm trying not to. I feel like I am jumping too far to conclusions, and I really don't want to.
Or third-party studio Xbox.
Well, I mean, that was out there for a while with Scalebound. A lot of people were thinking something like that would happen.
It would make sense.
It's interesting that they're working with Ninja on. I mean, honestly, it's a great fit. Platinum Games, Ninja Gaiden is a great fit. It's a perfect fit. But I feel like they're probably doing that because they need the work. It's probably keeping the lights on. So, whoever the president person was, and he was a founding person, Kamiya gets all the buzz, but the head of the studio is just as,
noteworthy.
Yeah. They've done some weird shit for the last few years. They started chasing like like service games, and I just forgot the name of the buzzword. What was that buzzword that games are all about a couple years ago?
I can't remember.
Fuck! I'm too sick for this. But they were trying to do all these different weird shit, and people were pretty upset. Not games as a service. It was like the digital imprint stuff, like the blockchain stuff. What am I thinking?
Yeah, like the NFTs.
NFTs. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, NFTs. They were trying to get into like the NFT game. Like they were essentially just trying to chase like explosive growth sectors, and they kind of fell into that. They talked about that for a couple years at their earnings calls, and people were like, "This is bad. Stop doing that."
Yeah. A lot of companies fell into that,
and you feel bad because like you're platinum. Why are you even bothering with that? So I don't know. I really love Platinum Studios. I'm rooting for them. I hope they stick together. I hope they make it through whatever it is they're going through. And like I've said before, and this is somewhat probably carrying water for them. One person doesn't make a game. There's 200
Very
people
true.
at Platinum. Even if 100 of them leave, there's still 100 people at Platinum that's probably been there for several projects. Like they have Platinum DNA. You only start thinking about stuff like this when notable people leave. Because like to give you an analogy or a comparison, dude, like half, if not more than half of Naughty Dog have turned over between their last two projects. And nobody's like real worried about them. The difference being the head didn't leave. Right?
Yeah.
The management is still there. So you're like, oh, it's fine. It's the same Naughty Dog. It's not the same Naughty Dog at all.
I think the key is who has the creative vision for the projects. And if them or their successor still continues that legacy on.
So that's my worry, because Takahisa Tora was that. like for me, in the games, I was like, oh no, not him. It's the problem.
Yeah, because I think Metal Gear's a perfect example of that. Like once Kojima left, and like, hey, here's Metal Gear Survive. Like, this is not Metal Gear.
100%. Yeah,
this is not Metal Gear at all. It's not what we want, and we still haven't gotten a true Metal Gear game yet because of that.
We haven't got. I've yet to see what I think is like really good reporting on what's going on at Platinum. So I keep looking for it. When we have it, I'll bring it to the podcast. Like I've seen a lot of speculation on what's happening to Platinum, which is what we're doing. But I've yet to see a lot of like firm reporting on here's what's going on at Platinum.
Yeah.
So I try to, I'm going to try not to be too doom and gloom until we have something to go off of.
Yeah. Makes sense.
We could say all this and get everybody scared, and then here they could sit here for the next 10 years, keep making Bayonetta games.
Yeah. And they're working on a big project. So
yeah, they are.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is a big project.
Huge. That was a crazy surprise. All right, I've got some Switch 2 Aftermath stuff. So the Nintendo Switch 2 trailer topped 20 million views in its first week. That is more than the PlayStation 5 reveal or the Series X have lifetime. So there's that.
People are excited for it. People are excited for it. People have been waiting for it. Yeah, and the Switch was a roaring success.
Yep.
So even the whole idea of people saying they should pivot, like why? Like, why should they pivot?
I mean, I think that's people just talking. But
yeah,
for the people that were, maybe let down with the trailer, perhaps, and maybe wanted more or wanted something else, me counting as one of them. I thought we were going to get more games and like maybe like actual videos of people playing and using the system. For anybody that said anything like that, 20 million views. Like, they didn't have to do any of that. Like, literally was like, here's a picture of the system. 20 million people watched it.
And they're probably going to get similar numbers in April.
Yeah, if not more. VGC citing Nate the Hate and the Brazilian Nintendo outlet that I'm just going to keep calling Pornhub Brazil. They're saying that there's a direct coming in February for Switch 1. That there will be a direct ahead of the April thing, and it'll be focused on just Switch 1 games. The Brazilian outlet says the Switch will get one big final Nintendo game. And here's I want to throw you this. from a beloved and somewhat niche series that is not a remaster. What do you think it is?
A beloved niche series.
When I first thought that we were getting one big final Nintendo game, we've been chasing the rumor out there for a while. There's a Fire Emblem game. Do you think Fire
That might
Emblem
be it.
counts as a niche game?
How many copies Fire Emblem sold? I feel like it sold a lot. Well,
Me
I guess
too.
it is niche. I guess because of the genre.
Also, he says it's not a remaster, and we've been expecting that Fire Emblem game is a remake. So I don't know if that counts. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But if it's not Fire Emblem, what do you want it to be? As
What I want,
F-Zero. I agree with
What
you,
I-
Jules. I wouldn't call Fire Emblem niche anymore.
yeah. What I want it to be is Star Fox. It's not going to be Star Fox, though, I don't think.
Yeah. I hate that Star Fox is niche. It is, though.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And it's like you said it, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. Star Fox is a niche, and then I was like, yeah, but it is, though.
Yeah. What could it be?
I mean, I think there's a lot of things it could be. F-Zero is a really good guess. I could see it. But again, not a remaster, not a remake. Or and they didn't say not a remake. It's just said not a remaster. So I guess it could be a remake of the F-Zero game. Because I know there's a lot of people thinking that F-Zero X was going to come. I don't think that would qualify here. I want it to be a Rhythm Heaven Fever game.
That could be it.
Rhythm Heaven would be great. I don't suspect that it will be, but that's what I would like it to be. Is Yoshi niche?
I would probably say so.
Yeah. Captain Toad?
That is definitely niche.
Right.
That would make that actually would make sense.
It'd be cool if they did a follow to that. If they have the whole, they have the whole engine and everything. They have a whole template. It'd be nice to do something like that. It'd be kind of fun. Yeah. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I would too.
So a lot of people are pointing out that there was that Redditor that I talked about before we got the Switch 2 trailer called Next Handheld. He was on Reddit posting all these pictures about the Switch and all these details. Well, a lot of the things that he said and showed were real. People noticed that after the trailer. They're like, "Oh shit, the Next Handheld had a lot of credit." So people are now going back to his earlier stuff before he started sharing pictures and trying to there was a lot of articles written this week about how he contends that the new Switch has Hall effect sticks. A lot of people were worried about that if the Joy-Con still drift and all that. So I don't know. We'll find out. And then one thing that I wrote, because we were talking about it last week when we went over the trailer, or last episode, because it was almost 2 weeks ago. We went over the trailer, and I was like, is there an IR camera? Because I didn't see one. And then we kind of zoomed in, and we kind of saw like what looked like maybe like a place on the shelf for it, but it was kind of like plasticed over. Yeah, and I think Jason was like, maybe they're just not showing it or something. There are multiple places reporting that the Switch 2 does not have an IR camera on the Joy-Con. That's just not there. So that would impact games that use that for compatibility, for whatever that's worth. So Nintendo Switch Online is getting Fatal Fury 2, Super Ninja Boy, and Suda Hakun. You excited?
It's gonna be fun to see it there.
I just played my first King of Fighters game, which is Fatal Fury-esque. Tangentially related. I've never played Super Ninja Boy. I have played Suda Hakun, which is kind of awesome.
It is.
You've played it too?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it reminds me. Box Boy reminded me a lot of it when they came out with Box Boy. I was like, oh, this is kind of similar to that. It's neat. So people should maybe give that a try if you're into like that puzzle thing. It's it's definitely. Don't get your hopes up. It's not amazing by any means, but it's neat. Like little puzzle platformer stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Xbox had their Xbox Direct this week where they announced a bunch of stuff, and afterwards Phil Spencer did a little speaking tour on several Xbox influencer podcasts, and he had this to say about the Switch, and I quote, Does it mean more of our games shipping on more platforms, not just PlayStation? We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam. Our games will show up in more and more places. Goes on to say, I'm really looking forward to supporting them as a Nintendo with the games that we have. And I think they are just really important part of this industry. So addressing the, what has been the elephant in the room for some time now with Xbox is they're going to continue to keep shipping games, their first party games, to other systems. He went even further to say that he can't commit that Starfield will remain exclusive to Xbox. And I hope people are just realizing that like that's just over. They're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, Xbox is a third party company now.
Yeah, 100%. And so they're going to support Switch with a lot of games. And for those of you that are following the rumors, there's been a lot of rumors for Xbox support on Switch. A lot of people are saying Xbox is going to be there in a major way kind of early and often. They're talking Flight Sim, they're talking Grounded, they're talking Hi-Fi, they're talking Halo, they're talking like a lot of stuff, Hellblade. So yeah, it sounds like that's the way they're going. And Xbox talked about it. Phil, I appreciated his statements on this because it seemed more clear than ever before. A lot of times it was always this 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of sort of when we want to sort of thing, which I really hated. This one was way more. He was like, listen, we think it makes business sense to put these games in other places. They make more money. And he goes, that lets us invest into making more games. Like, yeah, 100%. That does. So
if you read between the lines, he's telling us we need to do this to survive. What we're doing right now isn't working.
Survive is an interesting word. I don't know about that.
At least the Xbox brand.
To keep it profitable, maybe.
Yes. Because they can't keep doing this.
If you think that means survive, then I understand. Sure.
Yeah. I think this is just the next step for them. I think they just want to put everything everywhere. So look, they can constantly keep making money off of these games because funding Game Pass is an expensive endeavor.
I've got so many things that I'm literally sitting here thinking like I don't want to turn this into an Xbox podcast because I could say so much to what you just said. I'm going to try to surmise it succinctly. Part of me has long thought that their lower emphasis on hardware and selling market share is like a tangibly way of reducing its footprint on Game Pass, like intentionally. I know that sounds like it's almost like conspiracy type stuff, but like you're right. It's hard to fund Game Pass at this current level. Yes. And I've gotten the sense lately that maybe they don't want to. And like you kind of see what they're doing. They're splitting Game Pass, they're splitting tiers, no more day one tiers. It kind of feels like they're maybe lowering their emphasis on Game Pass. Yeah. And what's the easiest way to do that? To cap and lower the amount of consoles you sell. Yeah. That is the easiest way to do that. I don't think it's intentional. I think it's more of like a byproduct. It's like almost like just something out that's happening because of their change in direction. I've come to grips on this. I've turned over a new leaf. I'm willing to accept and adopt the new Xbox. Yeah. I did not like a lot of this when it came out because I'm committed to Game Pass. I've invested in it. I bought in. And it does feel like somewhat for those of us that supported Xbox and bought the console and bought the Game Pass service, and they told us that they were buying exclusives to fund that program. It feels like they pulled the rug out underneath us a little bit, and that's okay. Things change. I talked about this. We always talk about this when I'm with Sean on Sweet Hang. So if anybody wants long form Xbox thoughts, I'd point you in that direction. I do want to just say the thing that really bothers me about Xbox most is their willingness to like drop everything and change directions like all the time. Nintendo had the Wii U, which was like a colossal failure of colossal failures. And everybody wanted them to like just do what Xbox does, to quit everything, go mobile, go third party. And they didn't. and look what happened.
Yeah.
And PlayStation has been there, and then Nintendo's been there multiple times. And what do? They persevered because they believe in what they're doing. Like, they're not so reactive to the market. They're not so short-sighted. Part of me worries about that with Xbox. You know, like when things just don't go well, they literally just change everything. They just,
Yeah.
And who knows? Actually, who cares? I no longer care what they're doing with their future hardware and consoles, and like, who gives a shit? Because I'm going to tell you this. Here's where I am with Xbox now. I love their franchises. I will continue to do so. I'm going to hold them to put their money where their mouth is. You don't care. You want to reach more gamers. You want to have people. Great. Then I want every fucking thing on my Switch. You put everything you do on Switch too, and I'll buy it there.
I agree.
And that's it. Like that's it then. Like, great. Then I need Gears E-Day on Switch too. Thank you very much, Xbox. What I don't want to see them do is have some level of success and then start holding games back to their console again. It's like, I've always been like, if you're going to be about it, be about it. Like, don't fucking, we're only going to do 4 games and it's a pick and choose and it's a case by. No. You need to give expectations to customers. You need to give clear understanding of what customers can expect from you as a company. And this whole maybe, will I, won't I bullshit, that's the stuff that really bothers me. So, but I'm willing to accept this. I'm all in. I'm willing to accept the new Xbox. Be great. Go make your hardware that nobody's going to buy. Go make your portable that nobody's going to buy. Just put Gears and Fable on my Switch and I'm happy. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So
that's what they did it. That's what they wanted. So
I cannot wait. Like, I'm curious to see what their hardware does in the future. Because they talk a great game that it sounds like they think that they're going to make another console with all of their games being on all the other platforms that people are going to buy. And maybe they're right. I mean, there is like, maybe they just have 25 million diehard Xbox fans that are just going to buy it no matter what. Maybe they're right. I would have counted myself amongst them before, and I'm not going to buy one now. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Like, I keep coming back to that. Why would anybody buy, console from them?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But
I'm assuming they did the math. They're like, we may not have 25 million, but we got to get 15. That might be enough.
And I don't mind them just having a console. Like, they could just have a console for people to buy if they want to. There's nothing wrong with that. They could even make it a PC if they want. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not going to buy it. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I'm just not going to buy it, because why would I?
Yeah.
If I can buy those games on my Switch too, why would I buy that? I'll just play them here. Thanks. Appreciate it, Xbox. Thanks for the solid. That's great. Thanks, man. Super Mario Kart was added to Nintendo Music. There's a My Sims action bundle that was discovered via the EA app that hasn't come out yet. So that would be My Sims Agents and Sky Heroes. There's also a My Sims Beacon Bay. So if you're thinking about games that might be announced for Switch 1 in this posited February Direct, you could see some My Sims games. Arc System Works announced Technos The World Kunio-kun Arcade Collection. 12 Super Famicom and Neo Geo Kunio-kun games coming, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And it's one of my growing favorite things about Switch is it has so much back catalog of like gaming history that you could just buy, which is pretty awesome. Yes. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD top sales in Japan, pushing over 100,000 day one units. Switch had 7 of the top 10 games for the week in Japan.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah, for all the people like, it's too much. Why would you buy it? Stop buying it. It's like, well, guess what? People bought it. So
people bought it.
That's why they did it. So, and that's it, man. That's the news.
All right. Let's get to these questions then, direct from you. All right, let's get the first one. How you say his name? Hadir?
Sure. Hadir.
Let's go with that one.
That's good.
Good day from Australia, you guys. I absolutely love the show. How quickly do you think we get an OLED version to be released? I love my current Nintendo Switch 1 OLED. So I guess the question is, how soon before we get a switch to OLED? I say year 3.
Year 3. I want to see year 2, but I think that's a little too soon. Year 3.
Year 3.
So if it launches, let's say it launches in June. You go one fellow calendar year to the new June. You get through that fall, so it'd be its second fall holiday. It could be year 2.
I actually think it might even be year 4. Because you might get a light before you get the OLED.
You might. That's possible. Maybe, hear me out. What if you only get a light OLED?
Oh.
Think about that.
That's a good one.
What if they come out with a light? I've got so many questions. So like, it's a falsification to think they're going to do the exact same thing they did before. So just because they did on Switch 1 does not mean they're going to do on Switch 2. So just because the Switch 2 had a light that didn't dock doesn't mean the Switch 2 will have a light that doesn't dock. So what if they come out with a light that does work with the dock?
That's what I was thinking.
You just have to buy the dock separately or use the dock you already have. But I could see them coming out with like a light OLED. Then you kind of hit both people at once.
Yeah. It's possible.
It's not possible. The only thing I'll say, Hadir, is just before you're look, I get it. Everybody loves the OLED. I do too. I just think people have like gone too far with it. Like people really act like they don't want to ever do anything if it's not on an OLED. Yeah. And we need to see the Switch screen in action before we start.
Yeah, there's some great LCD screens out there.
There really are. Like they really get a lot of shit, man. It's like we've come a long way. Like if it's a good screen that has really nice, vibrant colors and stuff on it, like I don't think you need to wait for an OLED. I wouldn't be waiting. But I think, yeah, year 2 or 3 will get some sort of revision.
Yeah.
A light makes sense, but honestly, I don't know how fast does Nintendo want to. So the light made sense on the Switch because of Pokemon. You needed a cheaper system that people could buy for their kids. I think that's the case here too, especially if we're thinking this thing is $400 or $500. It'd be really hard to start buying those for 7 and 8 year olds to use. So they do need a light of some kind, and I do wonder if they could have a light with. But then again, it kind of defeats the purpose. If you're making it cheaper for kids, then why put an OLED in it? That doesn't help.
Probably a light. $250 light.
Yeah, you think it would have to be more expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, what if this thing is $399? Does a $299 light do anything?
I think it does.
Or is that too much? Is $299 too much for a light? Do people want to give their kids a $300 toy?
I think they would.
I mean, iPads cost that much, right? And kids have those.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't think that's crazy.
That's not too crazy. I think people would, because they see the cost of everything going up, so they would probably expect it.
And if you put an OLED in it, like again, you're kind of touching. It's not just the model that you're buying for kids. Some people just may prefer a smaller system, may prefer an OLED screen. They might just buy that one instead. I do like the idea, though, of the Switch 2 Lite model being able to dock.
They should do that.
I like that idea. I think they should do that. Yeah, because it's just a USB. Like you're not changing a whole lot on how much you're making off the system. Like in terms of like how much it costs to create the system, like components. You're talking about a USB-C connection with USB-C out. That's not going to break the bank, right? I think maybe they chose to do that the first time because they thought it might get confusing, right? To have like a model that doesn't have Joy-Con they could put in the dock and stuff. I don't think anybody thinks that's confusing today. I think you just let people dock the damn thing. Even if you have like a little adapter, like instead of using like maybe the dock, you just have like a little adapter that you can plug in or something. But like let the Switch Lite dock.
It should.
It's kind of weird that it couldn't output video.
Yeah. All right. Our next question from Hey Corsi. Let's say that instead of going with the Switch 2, Nintendo had pulled a huge surprise that came out with a completely different console.
I love this question.
What would you want it to see? Wii 4K, GameCube 2?
GameCube 2. Could you imagine the Wii 4K? That'd be wild.
Well, see, I like the Switch 2 a lot. I like the idea of Switch 2 a lot. But if we're gonna go different console, fuck it. Let's go all in next gen Switch, or same specs as a PS5, home console.
You want the home console, just the traditional home console.
Traditional home console, powerful ass Switch.
All right. Part of me wants to do this like as a troll, but also there's, it's partly like true. Not that like the market would really hate this idea. All right, but let's just say, right, we're speaking hypotheticals here. They go Wii U 2. They come back and they're going to make this damn thing work this time. It's the same thing. It's the same idea. Like it's a Wii U, except that the gamepad now is like a Switch and you can take it with you and you can play things on it. But you can come back and it does connect to your console and you can play dual screen games on it. And I want the Wii modes back and everything. The Wii U 2. And it is powerful. Yeah, it's like an Xbox or PlayStation, and it's playing all those games you have, right? I was gonna think like maybe like a Portal type situation, to where like you could take the gamepad with you, but it's like a cloud thing.
Yeah.
But I think people would hate that.
Yes, they
really
would
hate that. But yeah, like the Wii U 2, but like they make good on that concept, and it takes like it's like I'm thinking like if I could paint a picture, I'm thinking like a Wii. Like a big box Wii that plugs into your TV, and then like a Switch Lite has a controller like in your hand. But then you can just take it. Like Nintendo's playing with it. They show you the dual screen game. And actually, I'm gonna correct the name because the Wii U name, right? We talked about it for many years. I think it's nonsense that people act like it's not. But I have always said that the Wii U should not have been the name of the console. The name of the console should have been DS Home. That's what it was.
That's a great name.
It was a DS, is the dual screen home console. So I think you come out, it's the DS Home. It's got a Switch Lite as a controller. You show people doing the DS. You show them doing the dual screen stuff. You show them playing Breath of the Wild, and they got a menu, and they're tapping on it, and everybody's seeing all that shit. And you're holding it up, and you're moving it around, and people are like, they're making a home console. I can't believe it. And then the trick is the dude turns off the TV, and then puts the controller in his pocket and walks right out the door and keeps playing. And it's like, oh, shit.
That'd be dope.
Then people get actually excited. They're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like it. All right. TPR asks, is there any special edition hardware you want to see for Switch 2 that we never got for Switch 1?
That we never got. I mean, I would love to see more flavored Joy-Cons for sure. Like it is still bizarre to me that never really got off the ground. Like we have colors, but it's like just colors. Like there should be. I was sure coming off the 3DS, I was sure we were gonna have 1,000 different designs for Joy-Con. Like it was the thing I was most sure about. From the moment they popped those Joy-Cons off, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have 80 controllers. Like I'm going to have Zelda controllers, a Mario controller. I was like, we're going to get controllers for every game. It's going to have its own controller, Pokemon controllers. And that just didn't happen. And I don't get it. Like, I don't know why. It just didn't. Maybe there wasn't as much a market for that as I thought there might be. But I think the market wasn't there because the Joy-Cons they tried to sell us were just colors. Like they weren't that great.
Yeah.
Almost all the themed Joy-Cons are consoles. Like you had to buy the console to get the Joy-Con. You know?
To add on to that, to piggyback off that, I'd probably say customizable Joy-Cons. Like the Candy Con I was showing you like a couple months back.
Sure.
When you could buy your own custom cases for it. You can just pull off the front of it, maybe pull off the controller part of it, put a new controller cover. I'm gonna just
Oh,
make a
they
whole
don't want
new.
anybody popping a Joy-Con apart.
Well, you wouldn't be taking it apart because much like the candy con, it's just the cover.
You want a Joy-Con with a faceplate.
Yeah, it's just a
Or the
faceplate.
Joy-Con stays enclosed, but you can change faceplates.
You can change the faceplate. You can change the joystick essentially.
Okay, it's not bad. Cool.
TPR has more questions, so let's go to he has A, B, and C. So Zelda versus Peach, who is winning in a cage match and why?
Peach.
I think I'm gonna go Zelda.
Oh wow.
I think. Oh, let me rephrase that. Do they get to keep their weapons?
Sure. Why not?
Because if Zelda can just create fucking monsters with her wand and shit.
Funny. I wasn't even thinking of Echoes of Wisdom Zelda. I'm literally thinking of like Breath of the Wild Zelda. Because I was like, Peach might be her though. Like he's like you could see like Peach is like that nice buttoned up like princess, like super nice girl, and then you get in cage match. I'm like, bitch is like, let me hold my earrings.
Yeah,
like, like rolling up her sleeves, like, oh shit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I was just like, I think it's just because I think it'd be funnier.
Yeah.
I think it'd be funnier if Peach was like, she could let off steam for the first time. And she's like, oh, I've got grievances.
Oh, I definitely think she had that in her too.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and she's got power. You know, she's got magical powers and shit. Isn't there like? Didn't we have like Ninja Peach and shit? Like Wrestler Peach, Strong Peach. Like she just like changes outfits and then beats the shit out of some.
That is correct. All right.
Zelda's too nice.
She is.
It's too nice.
Our next question is, what's your favorite Pokemon to teach Surf? I gotta go with the tried and true Lapras.
I mean, Lapras is good. Trying to think here. Is there Pokemon that can learn Surf? So I know I've always taught mine to, but I wonder if there's better answers.
Yeah, I'm looking too.
Mine might not even be good. Mine is just because of mine's just because of how I build my party. So, because I don't normally carry a bunch of I normally don't carry a bunch of water Pokemon. So when I first did it, my first one I ever did, I did the Pikachu, of course. And then over the years, I
did too.
I either always have a Snorlax or a Golduck in my party, and that's usually my Surf companion. It's usually Snorlax. Because I'm trying to think about it. Most of the Pokemon games, I don't have too many Pokemon games where I get a Golduck or a Psyduck, which is one of my favorite Pokemon. But I almost always have a Snorlax in my party. And it's usually, and I use Snorlax to do a lot of that with. Just teach them special abilities, have weird moves, you know, which is always fun.
Starmie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've done it with Starmie before.
I like Starmie. Starmie's dope. That's a really cool Pokemon. Starmie doesn't get enough credit.
Yes. It's dope.
Yeah, he is. I'm a Poliwrath guy. You know, like I'm the fighting Pokemon, you know? So Poliwrath and Golduck are my favorite water Pokemon.
All right. Our next question from TPR is, what drinks are the Mushroom Kingdom ordering at happy hour?
What?
Now I'm looking up drinks.
I was trying to find one.
All
right, I got one.
Okay.
It's taking forever to load. I say I got one, and then it like doesn't move. All right, a Star Cocktail is a cocktail that dates back to the 1800s, and it consists of 4 simple ingredients: applejack or apple brandy, Sweet vermouth, simple syrup, and bitters.
Okay.
There you go. It's your star cocktail.
Espresso martini.
Why are they drinking espresso martinis?
Mario's Italian.
Okay,
I think espresso martini is an Italian drink. You know what I mean?
Martinis?
Yeah.
No, not every Italian drinks martinis.
Mario does.
It's a
Doesn't have a
fancy
tart
life.
martini,
He's not
yeah.
a fancy guy. You're trying
Doesn't
to
look
make Mario James Bond. He's not about that life. Maybe Dr. Mario. Well,
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Not Plumber Mario. It's not the same Mario. It's different Marios.
Same Mario.
It's not the same Mario. You can't. That's impossible. It's not the
My
same.
man
Mario.
has multiple jobs. He's Jamaican.
All right, I got another one.
Jamaican.
This one's better. I got another
Okay.
one. This one actually is more. This is more maybe my style. This sounds great. This is called the Stargazer. You need 2 ounces of Chardonnay, an ounce of rum, an ounce of pineapple juice, an ounce of vanilla syrup, a lime wedge.
It does sound good.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, that's a nice little summer drink right there.
Yeah.
The only thing
like
is,
that.
for my drinks, I always need something fizzy. So you need a little splash of soda in there or something. You need to carbonate that a little. That sounds pretty good. Anytime you got rum and pineapple together, you're doing something good. You're off to a good start. Yeah, that's my best answer. But espresso, the martini.
Yeah.
He's not Mario, Dr. Mario. Like that's not. It's not about that life, man.
He's a plumber.
This
he's
is
a
much
doctor.
better. Jules of Long Island IC. That's
a great
more
one.
style. That's more.
That's
style.
a great one. I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, maybe Peach. Peach probably has some espresso martini life. He's probably got that a little bit in her. Could see it.
Yeah. Let's see. Drew asked, "Do you think Ninja Gaiden will come to Switch 2 on day one?" Absolutely.
Yeah, probably, because it's not coming out until the fall, I imagine. Right? They just gave the year. It's coming out later this year.
Yes.
I mean, it really depends if it's currently in the works. Like if, do you know Xbox is publishing that game?
I think
Which is kind of
yeah.
wild. So
Yeah.
if and with Platinum working on it, I mean, yeah, it gives you some.
I think it makes sense to me.
Yeah, there's some dots that connect there that you could see that game coming out day one on Switch 2 or soon after. But it just matters if that was in the plans the whole time. Who knows?
Yeah. Xbox has a long history with Ninja Gaiden, so yeah, that makes sense.
With Switch 2 being, like with Switch 2, game development for Switch 2 might be a moving target because nobody really knows when it's going to release.
Yeah.
So I imagine a lot of people are probably like just going to port things to it once it's finalized.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I suspect that it will.
I do too. All right. John 32 asks, maybe more for Donnie. What's more gratifying as a podcaster? Nintendo Switch 2 finally coming this year, or Xbox finally delivering the promise on Game Pass this year?
For me, it's definitely the Switch 2 finally coming. We've been waiting on this thing, what feels like for 4 years.
I agree.
Also, Game Pass is finally delivering on the promise, but it's not the original promise of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of, it's sours the well a little bit, because it almost feels like it's too late. It's like the entire company changed. You wonder what Xbox would be doing right now if this Game Pass was there 2 or 3 years ago. How things might have changed.
Yeah.
Who knows? It doesn't matter.
Very different what we thought was going to happen and what actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Next up, we have a question from Shiv. Like that name. What games have surprised you and changed your mind on a franchise or genre? 6 months ago, I would have told you that I don't like roguelikes. The hundreds of hours of my life stuck into Balatro and Vampire Survivors now say otherwise. It's a lot.
That's cool. I mean, mine would be the same. I think maybe a lot of people felt like, because the rogue thing is like that's kind of like just the hot to trot game all of a sudden for the last couple of years. My version of that is Cult of the Lamb. Like at face value, like the design of a game like that isn't something for me, but the way they mixed that one up definitely was. But I don't know if I'd say it hasn't changed my mind on the genre. I generally think I'm rogue resistant, but if there's something that feels like it might appeal to me, I'm at least open to giving it a try.
I guess my answer would probably be open world survival games. I think
Nice.
Tears of the Kingdom kind of changed that for me.
I could see that for a lot of people for sure. Yeah.
That's the one where I'm like, oh yeah, this is the shit. I like this a lot.
I do like a open world survival game, like all of them. I like Valheim. I like Minecraft. I like Breath of the Wild. Like these are cool, fun games.
Yeah, the whole thing about, I was not about finding weapons and all that other stuff, but once you get into the thing, like, yeah, this is dope.
It's a satisfying loop. The Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom games are almost like Survivor Light.
Yeah.
Right. They're not so dependent upon that. They make it approachable, which I think helps a lot of people get into it. Whereas a lot of like the more PC build games are very involved. Like it's a lot of like min maxing and like stat padding. It's a lot of mouse work and stuff like that. I think you might lose a lot of people like that. But I do like that. I love that style of game. That game is addictive. You get into something like that and you think about that, like with the PAL world and stuff, the loop is very satisfying to keep kind of progressing. It's a lot of fun. You should try one day if you want. You should try Dragon Quest Builders.
I'll definitely try that one. That one looks interesting too.
It's similar style of game. Not Breath of the Wild at all, right? It's like between a Zelda and a Minecraft exists like Breath of the Wild or Dragon Quest Builders. It's like kind of right there in between those two.
All right. Kyle the Pug asked.
Fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
Thank you. If every Mario character had a finishing move WWE style.
This motherfucker said every character.
You know the motherfucking characters Mario have?
I saw this came in. He was like, all right, listen, if every character in the Nintendo owns, I was like, whoa. Yeah. What's their finishing move? What's Mario's finishing move?
I feel like Peach can deliver a mean stunner.
Peach?
Yeah, she's out here stunning.
What? Stunning
like Stone Cold.
Like Stone Cold? That doesn't make any sense. Cold.
I just want to see Peach give her a stunner.
I got Mario doing the curb stomp.
That's a good one.
He gets the knee up and everything with the hand. He does the little thing. And see, I have a TikTok that I may have sent you before. I'm not sure if you remember it. I have a TikTok of an indie wrestling show where a wrestler dressed up as Peach. And then her finishing move is that she pulled out an umbrella and then bounced off the ropes and then dropped the leg with the umbrella out.
I haven't seen it. That's actually pretty cool.
And I was like, that's definitely Peach's. That's Peach's finish. She's dropping the leg with the umbrella. She floats down.
Yes.
Now, Donkey Kong could stun some fool. Donkey Kong needs a powerful move. It's gonna be like a power bomb or something. Right.
Yes.
Or an Uranagi. I could see Donkey Kong rock bottoming the shit out of somebody.
Bowser spitting the mist.
I feel like the mist would be like one of the witches or something. With the boo.
Okay. Bowser
needs a pile driver.
That works.
Yeah. Who are we missing? Luigi's. I got Luigi doing like a flying headbutt. He's got to be like off the rope, I feel.
Elbow drop.
He's way more flamboyant than his brother, so he's got to be coming off the top.
Elbow drop.
I like it. Anyone else?
Toad.
Oh. Toad's the referee. It's not a wrestler. Come on.
That works. All right. Our next question from Smokeless Joe. What are the pros and cons of these 3 price points for the Switch 2? $399.
Cloud9 says we need a wrestling game. Mario wrestling.
We do. That's a great idea.
That was a thing? That was a thing. Got canceled.
They should have made that.
I think it's for GameCube, if I had to guess. What's
So
our pros
Joe
and cons?
for the Nintendo Switch 2, $399, $449, and $499.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty standard. $399 the pros, it's cheaper. $499 the con is it's more expensive.
Yes.
I mean, I think maybe I get the idea of the question is, I think the pro of a $499 would be that maybe it has more things bundled in, or that the console is stronger than we think it is. That would be maybe the pro, maybe.
I think it'll probably be more hard drive space.
Something, yeah, like there's something something that's worth it. You're getting the value.
Yeah, like it's a terabyte now as opposed
like
to 512.
if they were to do like a 256 for $399 and a 1 terabyte for $500, I'm buying the 500 model.
That's what I was thinking.
Like I'm happily buying the 500 model.
And the 449 is 512.
Yeah, I mean, look it up, Cloud9. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I think that's right. That was a thing. They were making at some point a Mario wrestling game was in development. I'm positive it was for GameCube. Maybe it was like DS.
It does
sound almost positive for GameCube. And then, yeah, they moved it. And as G-Man says, then we got Strikers. Yeah, I think that's right. They kind of switched it to Strikers.
Yeah. All right. Our last question from Gamer Guy Lou. After seeing Donkey Kong's big redesign in the Switch 2 trailer, it got me thinking. If you could redesign any Nintendo character, who would it be and what changes would you make? Personally, I changed Kirby's design to match the anime more. Instead of him always being pink in the games, I love to see him change color with the power up to a color like similar, i.e., Ice Kirby be blue, Fire Kirby be red, etc.
Yeah, I don't like that. I get it, but like I don't want, because then it feels like Kirby's like an alt for Yoshi, and I don't want that to be the case. Right. Because what I don't want is end up getting games where you get like Fire Kirby, like you get Red Kirby, Blue Kirby, Black Kirby, Green Kirby. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that they did that so much with Yoshi. You know, like they did with Yoshi, and now there's just like 1,000 Yoshis, and it feels like Yoshi's kind of lost what makes Yoshi Yoshi.
Yeah, but don't all Nintendo characters get like redesigns, even though they're slight redesigns?
And generally, I don't like the alt concept. Like I'm not into like rose pink Peach and Metal Mario, and like I kind of wish they would like leave them more standard, I guess.
Yeah.
But I get it.
It's a common thing. Nintendo characters all get
it is
redesigns.
Gold Mario, Silver Mario, Metal Mario. It's like 1,000 different versions of the same thing. I'd rather than make them more character based, like Dr. Mario, Mario Maker, Constructor Mario. I'd rather be more like that than color swaps.
I agree.
A color swap just feels cheap. I don't like that.
Chiropractor Donkey Kong.
You know, like don't do blue Kirby, do Meta Knight. Like do a different Kirby. You know, like let's create new characters.
Yeah.
Rose Gold Peach. I really like the question though. It's a good question. Yes. Who would you redesign and why?
I don't know.
I want to say the ladies. I feel like Daisy and Peach could use a redesign. They've been so similar for so long. You know, like even Mario and them, they get different stuff. And I mean, I guess if you count like Princess Peach the game, if you count those like costumes, you know, she did kind of get it. And I think that was kind of the hook or the gimmick of the game. That seemed kind of cool. But Mario gets all kinds of stuff, and then like Peach and Daisy are always kind of the same.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do. I want to like modder them up a little bit, you know, personally.
Yeah. And the thing about it, when you redesign these things, it's kind of hard because their looks are so iconic. It's like you can't do too much.
Yeah, you're right. But I think of like Zelda. Think about how much Zelda has changed in the 90s. And how little Peach has changed.
Yeah.
You know, even Mario, like Mario Wonder has like a chibi Mario.
Yeah.
You know, like we could have like a more chibi like princess. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. All right. I think we did it. We survived, Donnie.
Is that it?
Yeah. Barely.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm doing my best.
Yeah. I'm gonna go lay down and try not to die.
Same. I am going to go lay down. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'm going to go. I need a good sick movie. What's a good sick movie? I want to watch something.
How you like watching horror movies?
When you're sick?
Yeah.
Huh.
Nightmare, like something like guilty pleasure horror movies, something that you already know, like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that would be good. But my wife is never going to go for that. That's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
I think I need like a disaster movie.
Independence Day.
Yeah, something like that. That's where my head space is in. I need to watch something like that. Something big production, the world is on fire type movie.
Independence Day is a good one.
Something I can like lay on the couch and like kind of fall asleep to and not really pay any attention to it. And I'm gonna find you that peach clip. I'm gonna send you that peach clip.
All right, dope.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We out.
Catch you next week.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?